Welcome everybody to the Songbird Sessions podcast. Every episode we sit down with some of the most inspiring women in the music industry to find out what makes them tick.
We're your hosts, Danielle Matthews
and Marina Piche,
co-founders of the LA-based music platform Songbird Sessions. You can find us on social media at Songbird_Sessions.
Enjoy the episode.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, Marina.
Hi, Danielle.
How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm great.
So what have you been doing the past 2 weeks since our last podcast?
Well, I've been working a bunch, just kind of getting back into the flow of things.
Mhm.
I looked at a new apartment yesterday.
No. Wow. She's moving.
I think I'm going to move. And yeah, I'm just really excited. You know, when you like walk in somewhere and you just, you feel it in your gut and you're like, this is my home. So I'm really not setting my expectations super high. I just know that I have to have it.
Right.
So, and if I don't, I
kill
will
somebody.
murder somebody. So
Okay, so if the person that owns the apartment is out there, please.
if you're listening to this
You're
podcast, if you happen to be listening to the Songbird Sessions podcast,
Yeah.
I really want the apartment. How are you, Marina?
I'm good. I'm really good. Got an exciting shoot this afternoon after this.
Yeah.
And
Are you allowed to say with who?
Unfortunately, I can't.
I know who it
because-
is, and it's a really big deal.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
pretty cool.
Acts.
Yeah.
I will divulge that information maybe next episode.
We'll get all the deets.
All the deets.
Yes.
And yeah, just working on some music videos. Got 2 music videos coming up, which I'm pretty excited about.
Amazing.
Yeah. So
Juggling all sorts of things.
and trying to stay mentally sane.
Yeah. Any
Work-life
new
balance.
tips to stay mentally sane for our audience this week?
You know what I've started?
Yes.
I've jumped on the little trampoline phase.
Whoa. Wait, do you have it here with you?
I do. Well, it's out the back, but I got one of those little trampolines. So I've been doing the YouTube trampoline.
Well, I know
videos.
what I'm doing after the podcast.
Yeah.
You can find me on the trampoline.
Yeah. So that's been fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Congrats.
That's
My
new addition for the week.
Yeah. Who are we talking to today?
Today we are talking to Laces.
Yes.
Jessie Vaughn.
Jessie Vaughn.
She is an incredible person because she has multiple artist projects. Multiple. So it's really interesting to learn about all of those and the different, her basically juggling all of those acts and the difference between them all and how she got into music and just being an incredible businesswoman.
Yes.
Really. So yeah, lots of tips and things from her.
I'm excited to hear her story and what she's been working on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope everyone.
Let's bring her on.
Yeah, everyone enjoy
ready?
the episode. I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Cool.
All right, enjoy the episode.
Hey, Jessica. Jessica Vaughn is here with us today.
Hey, Jessie.
Do you go by Jessie?
Hi. I do go by Jessie. Strangers, people I don't like, call me Jessica, but you can call me Jessie.
We'll go with Jessie then because
we like you.
We like you. Yes. Jessie is your name, but you are known for a variety of monikers. People may know you by, just to name a few, Laces, JPOLND, Charlotte Sometimes was your first stage name.
Yes.
Yeah. So welcome. Thanks for being here today. We're really excited to talk to you. For those of you who don't know Jessie Vaughn, she is an incredible singer, songwriter, businesswoman based out of here in Los Angeles. I think your credentials are just too long. I actually have them listed here. So if everyone has like 20 minutes at home to just listen to credentials, along with all the monikers I just listed, you also pen and produce music for Hasbro cartoons. And your music has been featured on the CW, Netflix, ABC, etc. And you frequently collab with other artists. You're always collaborating. So we're really excited to just talk to you and get into your music and how it started and where you're at now. But how are you? I want to catch up before we get into all of that.
Yeah. What an intro.
Yes.
I mean, I was very impressed with your intro. It made me sound a lot cooler than I actually am. So I'll take it. as I drink out of my Buffy mug of Spike. But
I love that.
Wow.
Who's drinking out of another mug? It's him.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, good. I'm just hustling my way through this pandemic. Looking forward to getting vaccinated so I can see human beings again and not just my husband and my cat. And because I definitely feel like I've become even more of a drinker and a smoker of the weed.
Yeah.
Smoker of the
You sound
weed.
so elegant and sophisticated when you say that like that.
Yes. Yeah. It sounds a little bougier. So
I think a lot of people can relate to becoming smokers of the weed during the pandemic.
Yeah. I mean, I've been
I know, and then it became legal in so many other states. So
right. Yeah. I mean, Australia, I've hit CBD pretty hard.
CBD fan right here. Yeah.
That's my little go-to. And it's just made its way to Australia. I got some messages from some friends going, "Oh my God, have you heard about CBD?" I'm like, yeah. Yes.
Does it actually work? I don't know, but I like putting those little drops in my mouth and just letting the wave of like serenity wash over me.
I admire that you can just do the CBD. For me, it's like, I have so much anxiety, and so I use weed as a form of medication for myself. But I like CBD is too light for me. Like I need.
Oh, really? You need the hard stuff.
Yeah.
I need the sedation.
I'm also on Lexapro, so I'll just put it out there. No shame. Lexapro saved my life.
No shame in your game.
But I'm also sober, so CBD is a nice natural alternative for me that doesn't contain like mind altering. It's not a mind-altering substance. So, I was never
something
really
for everybody.
There is something for everyone, What other ways have you been taking care of yourself this past year? Kind of stay insane.
So I did the whitest girl thing in the entire planet where I bought a Peloton. And
that's the video exercise. Is that the treadmill?
Yeah,
I think Is it the bike?
It's the bike.
The bike.
Yeah. So I tried to hold off as long as I could, and I was doing all these like online workout classes, and then I just started to get bored. So the really cool thing is all these different classes and meditation classes, and it's good for me just to like even just fit like 20 minutes or 10 minutes of working out like most days of the week, just to kind of like take that time. And besides that, I've been watching a lot of old television shows, and not even just old, like shows that have been on the air for like 10 years that everyone else watched that I'd watch.
Like Friends?
I mean, I've already watched Friends like 1,000 times.
Okay.
Buffy, I've seen 1,000 times.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm watching Blacklist right now, which is not even a good show, and I can't stop. It's like an unhealthy thing where I've been watching like episode after episode.
Yeah.
So.
Is that like that was a TNT show or an FX?
I think it's NBC. I honestly don't recommend it. I just can't stop. I'm like deep into it now.
Get that.
I'm already caught up to like the new season that's airing right now, and I'm just ashamed. But it's good. Yeah. So just hanging out with my cat on little walks on his leash.
I actually walked past this woman today. She's walking her little dog, but also her little cat behind her off the leash. But the cat was just like walking with her. And I said, "Excuse me, is that cat with you?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's amazing."
I love that.
Yeah.
That's just a real bond right there. That a cat would follow you.
There you go.
Well, I was going to save this for later, but since we're talking about TV, I'm just going to dive right into it. Your song, The End, was featured on Bridgerton and has received over 3 million views. I mean, I loved Bridgerton. There was some problematic things for me, the relationship dynamic. We won't go into that. That could be a whole episode on its own. But how was that experience for you? Because that song kind of blew up, and obviously with the show.
Yeah, I'm really grateful. I do a lot of film and TV like licensing, and so you never know what song is going to move the needle. That being said, I knew it was a scandalous scene. Wasn't aware that it would be quite that steamy. But listen,
it was very sexy.
I'm down to be the soundtrack for anybody's soft porn, like just call me up. I'm happy to like grant a micro license for your sexy times, whatever you need. So I enjoyed it. I think it's great. I'm so glad that everyone has resonated with the song. It's a very old song for me. I wrote it many years ago and recorded it.
Okay.
And then my song rep at my publisher was pitching it, for film and TV stuff, because I usually have other projects that I do that with. And she's like, it's so good. It's definitely going to get a place. Years and years go by. I'm like, this song is trash. It's never going to do anything. And then I get this request a year and a half before the show comes out. And I don't know much about the show because they won't tell us what the show is until about like 2 more. And then I realized, oh, I should probably put this out so that it's out on the day that the show comes out. And I did not expect.
The number one show like for a month running. It was like just my dad even watched it. He asked me, he's like, this Bridgerton show.
I haven't seen it yet, I have to say.
Yeah, which was uncomfortable, but I mean, it really it spanned across like generations, and I think it was for some people a guilty pleasure, and for some people they're just straight up like, I love this show.
So how do you decide to say yes when you don't know anything about the show to have your music on something? Like, do you get to kind of go, well, you need to tell me a bit more about it? Like, how do you make that decision? Because like, what if it's like a really bad show, or it's about things that, goes against your morals, or, you know what I mean? Like, how do you say? Yeah.
It helps to have a great relationship with the person that represents your music. I work on the side of the business as well. I pitch other artists for film and TV. So I'm pretty like, well, I don't know what the word is, but I'm involved. Yeah, there you go. It's like, well, first, I don't know. I get involved. But it depends, like, because if you get too picky, then you're going to miss out on opportunity, right? So I'm not very precious about what my music is used for. I always think of music as a collaboration, and a lack of a better analogy, I really wish I would stop saying this, but I can't stop, which is I think of like songwriting as sex. So I just like, if it's just for me, I might as well just be crying in my room, and I call that song masturbation. So
right, yes, I like this analogy.
Share it with others. So
it's like an orgy now.
It's an orgy now. I will let anybody use my music. I only have one hard stop, which is I will not let I won't let Republicans use my music.
Good hard stop.
So it goes to me. Good hard stop. I love that. Can't like no RNC like conventions. Like
that would suck.
Politics. But other than that, I don't care. I make money, and that gives you an opportunity to then use your music in other places and invest in yourself. But everybody's different. I have I'm an opportunist. I'm a Capricorn. I like dream cash.
We're all Capricorns.
Love it. Yeah.
Jessie, you're from New Jersey, yes? Tell us a little bit about growing up there.
Yeah, so I'm from the Jersey Shore, not to be confused with the show, but
I recently just binge watched Jersey Shore talking about the
reference.
Yeah. So please continue.
Yes. Congratulations and apologies. I'm going to say both for that watch. So I grew up on the shore, and it's a land of fake tan, and as well as real ones that make your skin very leather, and the boss, Springsteen, and what's really cool about where I grew up in the like Asbury Park, Belmar area on the beach is that music is really part of the culture in that area, because we have the Stone Pony, we have a place called the Saints. You're only an hour from New York City, an hour away from Philadelphia. So it's a big music hub, and it has a very specific sound. So it never was hard to start in music because there was a place to play. I would run the door at the Saint, and then I would play, would open up a show, and there was great coffee houses to play. And I'm really thankful for that opportunity and to be able to get on the train and, go to New York City. I was 16 years old with braces and playing at places like pianos. Even though I didn't even legally get in, I was allowed to play.
Oh, wow.
So I would just go by
Did you have to have a
myself with my
parent?
guitar. No, my parents were.
Britney Spears didn't have to have a parent in New York. She had her babysitter.
Her
guardian. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
my parents were just like, we're not going to be stage parents. So if you want to do this, like, you're going to have to do it on your own. I just would go by myself. I mean, I didn't even have a cell phone yet, like, because we all have cell phones yet at the time. And I don't know how I'm alive, to be honest. But somehow I survived. My dad would sometimes come with after work. He worked in like Jersey. So I loved growing up in New Jersey. I definitely feel like a Jersey girl forever.
Yeah.
I do think that my town was a little bit racist and a little bit Republican. That's my least favorite part. Not the best. Yeah. But my experience as far as a musician growing up there was dope.
Yeah. Oh, great. And you're the only person in your family that has like pursued a creative endeavor?
Yeah. I mean, I love, I don't really talk to my family. We had a falling out like 7.5 years ago. We send love and then we take care of ourselves.
Of course.
But I have 3 older brothers and no, man, just me.
Yeah.
I'm the only one who got out.
Yeah. And Jessie, you've been pretty vocal. I wanted to ask you about this because you've been pretty vocal about it on your social media, but at 14, you were diagnosed with a rare disease that affected your singing because I'll let you explain what it is because I will, I'll butcher it. So please go ahead.
I mean, don't feel bad about that because it's such a rare disease that nobody understands anything about it, including the people who diagnosed with it. So it's called idiopathic conjular resorption, which is a hard thing to say. You can say ICR.
ICR,
for sure. Yeah. It basically, your condyles, it causes them to disintegrate. So these bones just resorb and your face moves backwards.
Oh, wow.
And for those that can't see, it's the jaw bone she's pointing to.
Yes. Yeah. So it's not just, it's very painful and it really happens to like 100 people a year. Usually women who are like tall and on the skinny side, active and going through puberty. It happens. There's a lot of theories, but there's always somebody that has gotten it that it doesn't belong to those theories. It's hard to explain. I had reconstructive surgery. When I was 16, they took 2 ribs out, cut those in half, replaced my bone. And then a few years ago, I got my wisdom teeth out and the dentist broke this part of my jaw. Then I had one more surgery about 1.5 years ago that moved my entire face forward back to its original position because this took care of the diseased bone, but I never my face put back to like how it would have naturally developed. Because it causes a lot of like trauma to your lower face, which was great as like a singer and people looking at your face constantly.
Well, you said 16 is when you had the ribs removed, and you also said that was the time that you were performing in New York. So this was kind of overlapping that you were dealing with this.
I had like my jaw wired shut for a while. It was pretty brutal, but I was a very determined woman and I wanted to succeed in music. And even though I had the disease, I just felt like I wanted it even more. And no one was going to tell me I'm not going to be able to sing and I'm not able to like have the life that I want. Because I had gotten signed to a management company right before my surgery. And, they were worried because they really believed in my music, but one, they weren't even sure I was going to like cute. I mean, that's not a dope thing to hear as a child, but they were like bets on like if I would be hot or not when I was older because of all my disease.
Oh my God.
But it was a traumatic time, but when you're young, you're resilient and you don't think about it. but I'm so happy and thankful that I had the resources and means to like find the right surgeons and, get my last surgery a year and a half ago, so I can finally stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's something that you have forever. Hopefully, it will never be reactivated. We don't makes it happen again, but I just try to be really mindful and of my body. This hurts a lot. Sometimes it swells up if I sing or talk too much, but
I was going
everyone
to say,
has their thing.
Do you have like a routine, like when you're performing, when you're going to record a song? Like, do you have specific warm-ups that you do to keep yourself kind of like healthy and not sore?
Yeah. Well, I have my voice teacher. I have three that I kind of rotate that I go to. Lawrence, Amy Chapman, and Sarah Lieb, and they all have different kind of techniques. And vocally, it's all kind of similar. I would call one of them boot camp and another yoga. And sometimes if I'm feeling tired, I do more of the yoga approach. And Amy Chapman, who's a vocal therapist as well, she does these vocal massages, and she like rubs around like my jaw and here and the muscles because they're really tight. And a lot of times my voice won't function because this entire side just kind of just gets really tight. And you just I don't know if I'll ever be a touring artist again, because it is hard on your body if you're in tip-top shape. And I'm kind of working with 6 screws on each side, artificial joints, a plate, and 2 screws in my chin. So it's a little more difficult for me.
Yeah. So was this a factor in your decision to perform under different monikers and to license out your music as opposed to a touring artist?
I think it definitely was a layer that was a part of it. I had a really bad experience as a signed artist. I just like my management and I just didn't feel like I was being looked after as a young in the industry. And so I just was disenchanted by that experience, and I wanted to get some agency over my career. And the only way I could do that was kind of branching out and having numerous verticals that I make money in, and trying to gather as much power as I could as a business in the industry. Not just being a touring artist, because then it's all about you and like your body and just you're the product. You're the only thing that's the product, and it can be very daunting, and it didn't feel great for my mental health. And I didn't like being on tour. I'm not very good at my routine being constantly changed. For me and my mental health, I instead of being on medication for anxiety, I choose to just kind of stick to my routines, take the time that I need. If I'm feeling a certain way, like I'll take a step back, take a day off. You can't do that when you're on tour, and you're constantly giving yourself and that adrenaline from having to like be on stage and be perfect. It starts to just wreak havoc on your nervous system, at least for me. And even though I love the form, it just wasn't working for me. And I just feel a lot healthier when I have a little bit more control over my life.
I think that's really great to hear, that you're such a testament to the fact that you don't have to choose your one or the other, your mental health or career. And we were talking to our last guest, who is a very successful tour manager, and coming to the point in her life where she didn't have to sacrifice one for the other, and kind of adjusting her career around her mental health and what she needs. So I love that more artists are realizing that you can tailor a career to fit, what's good for you and your mental health and your well-being.
Yeah, recognizing it is huge.
100%.
Yeah.
I think that's such a big thing. And we're going to see more and more of that. If you look at the way that we consume entertainment, or in the way that we also like buy clothes and go shopping, everything is really catered to who you are. So why wouldn't your career follow suit? So like, I feel like if you have the opportunity to create a life that doesn't look like somebody else that works for you, why wouldn't you do that? And I think artists a lot of times think this is the way to succeed. I have to get signed, and I have to get signed to a publisher as well. And then I'm going to do this amount of touring. And I mean, look at the pandemic. Everyone had to kind of rethink and reformat their lives. It's the same thing for music. I call it the Wild West. You get what you negotiate, so negotiate on your behalf.
So true.
Yeah, 100%.
I was watching the Billie Eilish documentary. I don't know if you.
I still haven't seen that. I need to watch
so
it.
good.
I haven't seen it. Yeah.
It was interesting, especially like an artist like her. You know, she did a lot of touring early. And just seeing like a little bit of behind the scenes of her on tour and like after shows. And not only like, one thing that really struck me was just the demand on her time without being asked. Like, she's just come off stage doing a huge show and then immediately is demanded without any warning, without any heads up, oh, hey, we have 45 or plus guests that you have to meet and greet, hug, kiss, say hi to, pretend that you're interested. Straight off after doing a huge show, I think it's huge, and it must just wear artists really thin. And she cracked it. So she had a moment, she cracked it, and then she looked really bad because that was caught on camera and it got around on social media. And she's like, and she got really upset because she was like, I had one moment where I completely fell apart because I wasn't warned. I wasn't told that I was going to be bombarded with all these people after a show. And now I'm the bad guy because I was like, hey, I can't do this right now. And I think it's like, it's huge and she's young, and for artists to be able to say, hey, like, this is what you get from me. Here's my line. Like, I'm going to do a show. It's going to be huge. If you've got 10, 20 guests, cool, but choose them wisely, because like, that's all I've got. Like, I think there's completely
boundaries.
Like, fair enough.
Boundaries.
Simple.
It's a lot. It's a lot, very taxing, and I do well when I'm meeting strangers constantly, and that's what tour is. Why you can be appreciative of a fan and you're like, this is great. Their experience with you and your experience with them is very different because they feel like they know you and you don't know them. So they're coming at you like, you know, your besties, and you're like, you know, as somebody who has dealt with a lot of trauma in my life, I don't do well when I have a stranger kind of coming at my face and being like, hey, I love you so much. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Let's just, hello, nice to meet you. Let's take a second. So, you know, I understand. I admire these artists that are able to kind of be it in that way, because it's a lot. Like, I'm not that way even with my friends. I'm like, y'all need to give me a motherfucking break. I need to be alone.
And we're finding out that a lot of artists aren't okay. They just are going along with it because they think it comes with the territory, you know, saying yes when you mean no, even when it comes down to getting a hug from a fan. You know, I think more and more artists are speaking up like, you know, I'm not okay with how they touched my back. I'm not okay with, you know, a kiss on the cheek. Yes, they're a fan. They love my music. I can appreciate them while still holding my boundaries of what I am okay with and what I'm not okay with. And you hear that, you know, especially from women artists.
Yeah. I wonder how long we can use
that COVID
social distance rule. But like,
I know.
I'm 6 feet.
I'm good with it.
So sorry. So sorry. Please don't touch me.
So Jessie, can you just walk us through some of the steps you took? Like, how do you find your collaborators? How do you decide when to create a new moniker? Is it like a different sound you're going for with that specific moniker? Or just kind of walk us through your process and, you know, the direction you took?
I guess for me, everyone always said I had to pick one thing to be. And I don't do well when people tell me to do. And so I think I just went rogue, started to create all these projects. You know, I started as a recording artist, and then I transitioned to a professional songwriter where I was writing songs for other artists. And then I realized a lot of those songs would die, like they wouldn't have an afterlife, or maybe they'd get on an album and, you know, and then that would be it. And then financially wasn't really seeing a lot back, even when it was on a major label, because I was stuck in like an intense publishing deal with Sony. So I was like, how do I get the power back, and how do I make sure I'm fun and getting to explore all the types of songwriting I like to do? That's when I started creating monikers, because I thought each project deserves attention and love, because it is an artist, it is an extension of me. And you know, different fans resonate with different projects. And even though you have some fans that like everything that I do, there's plenty of people that will only listen to skinny beats because it's like jungle pop and don't want to have to deal with emotional laces like doing another piano ballad. So I just, everyone has their thing, and I love exploring all those verticals.
How do you balance all of that? Because I feel like having one artist project would probably be full-time work, hard enough, but you have multiple. Do you have like a
I have 25, yeah.
How do you balance it all?
I mean, I'm insane, and I don't recommend doing this for 10. I don't think anyone should do what I'm doing. I balance it though because not everything happens at the same. I schedule certain releases to be at certain times, and then the people that are in my projects, like for Riverside, I have Curtis Peoples and Colin, who is in Third Eye Blind, and
love Third Eye Blind.
Yeah, it's just my little alt rock project. Feel like that's like the only band that I'm like, let's hit the road, let's do this, let's get weird, let's get in the van.
Can you take me with you?
Like, yeah, but then I'm like also like I like to shit in my own toilet, so I don't know. But they help me out. Curtis will update the social media, and he really helps me out with those plans. Some of the other projects I just don't spend that much time on. Like I'll release a song, but I just let it do its thing, and I stay out of the results. But a lot of times I'm doing this because I like this music, and I do a lot of film and TV stuff. So I release so that people who are watching the shows can find the music. And then if it gets more attention, I'll spend more time on that project. But I just can't release a Rvrside song as a Laces song because it lives with like Banks and Fantagram and like alt rock bands. It can't live in Laces land, and it can't live in jungle pop land, which is why I brand each one as its own thing.
Yeah, I love that. And it gives you that like kind of freedom to just whatever you're feeling in the moment to write that.
And who helps with all your branding stuff? Yeah. Like how do you decide on the look and the feel?
Yeah, I will work with my husband Ryan, who also manages me with me, and he likes to say he co-manages me with me, and he helps me out with branding. I usually have a very distinct idea on what each project is. For Beats, I knew it should be fun, and because that is the music. That EP when I had a concussion, so it sounds like that. And so I wanted everything to be like bright and fun, and Riverside is like what I always wanted to be, like if I was as a 90s like teenager. And so I really, our next EP is called Bullet with Butterfly Clips, and I use like a photo of myself when I was 17, like a scrapbook, and
cool.
Yeah, so it's so much fun because I look at it as an opportunity to explore something that I might not have had the permission to do when I'm looked in as, let's say, Charlotte Sometimes or Laces, which is, main project, because I'm much more protective of the branding.
Yeah,
for sure.
I love that, Ryan. So we worked with Ryan when we did our Christmas show a couple years ago. Oh my God.
And also with our very first Songbirds with Bell Saint.
Oh, with Belle Saint. Yeah. Yes. Who we love. Shout out Belle Saint. But I love how proud Ryan is of you and your career. And he is just puts it out there for the world to see. Like every day, just like, this is what Jessie's doing. And I love her so much. And I'm so proud of her. And I'm just like, good man.
He's a great man. I'm like, I don't know if I'm good enough for you, because he's such an amazing human being, and I love working with him. We together for over a decade.
Oh wow.
And he's such a big part of my career, and I don't think I would have been able to do anything that I'm doing without his help. He's just a really great teammate.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to Ryan.
Shout out to Ryan. Hi, Ryan. Wait, is he there in the background?
He's in the kitchen. Yeah.
Oh, great. He just like pops up behind the desk. Hey guys.
Yeah.
Hey.
So I do want to touch quickly on, and we kind of, we did mention your experience as a young woman getting started in this industry and how you wanted to take agency. take a little more control of your career. But last year you asked us to be a part of the Women Sound Off campaign. So can you tell us a little bit about that and, you know, how the idea came to you and like why you wanted to get this started?
Yeah, so I started the Women Sound Off campaign because I felt for some, and I don't know if it's because I've always been very vocal about being a feminist and also just about equality and equity and diversity. I've always been very loud about it in my career, and I've tried to create opportunities wherever I can, and yada yada. But I felt like a lot of art would come to me and they would say, women would come to me and they would say, blah, 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 this happened to me. This happened to me. What do you think I should do? Or how should I negotiate this fee? This producer made me uncomfortable. And I started to be the keeper of secrets kind of in that way. And I thought, wow, there's such a beautiful community and nobody's talking to each other. And then I see people in positions of power taking advantage of this community. And it's because you don't realize that we're all connected and having conversations with each other. So I thought it would be a really beautiful display to have women who are music professionals, either executives or creators or managers, PR, whatever you do in music, and just standing in solidarity with each other and not so much like this is a blame game or anything like that. I didn't want anyone not to do it because they felt like their career would be in jeopardy by saying, I stand with women, which is insane. But and that did come up a lot. You know, people were worried that then the industry would think that, you know, they are being ridiculous and yada. And I think that's just ludicrous. But I just wanted other women to see that there's a lot more of us than they think, and we're here and we're going to work together. And, you know, we're all trying to positive change in the industry and that you're not alone. And so I felt like I needed that as a woman who has worked with a lot of men in my career. And, you know, obviously I'm married to a man. I don't worry, men. I hate all men. Don't all men. But you know, I mean, historically, you haven't done that great of a job.
Yeah, I mean,
yes. So I'm always going to be loud about it, and I'm really happy with the way it came out. And you know, there's definitely we use women with an X, and a lot of people. There's a lot of controversy now about that. You know, some people hate it, some people love it. I obviously checked with everybody that was a part of the video before we did it about how they feel. We had you know, trans women involved, and I really leaned on about what they thought. And so, you know, we live and we learn. Maybe we're moving away from that term. Who knows what the next thing will be, but I'm still proud of it.
Yeah, that was incredible.
It was, we were honored to be asked to be a part of it. And just seeing so many familiar faces on there, it kind of goes back to the community in that, like, oh, these are all women we've been working with on Songbirds. And going back to our very first show, what started out as like, oh, this will be a show featuring women, to this, it really is such a community now. And we're all kind of linking up and you're hearing the same messages. So it is, it's such a beautiful thing to watch grow, especially over this past year. And what you said about, you know, worrying that we're going to be seen as silly or overreacting or dramatic.
Yeah, sorry, but okay.
Yeah, fuck them.
I'm here for it.
Yeah,
we're here for it.
There's
like,
a reason.
Yeah.
So if you don't like it, just like sit down, shut up. I really just couldn't care.
What Marina said. Thank you.
And three Capricorns in a room. We're like, just fuck it. You know what I mean?
Whatever. You don't gotta fuck it. So Jessie, before we wrap up, what's coming out? What's new? What do we need to watch? Where can we find you?
Yeah, we have, you know, I just released a new Laces single on Friday called My Heart. So that's out, and I'm making a music video in tandem with this. So that'll be out, I think, within the next week or so. We're just finalizing a publication to premiere on, and I'm so excited about this because it was hard to do during COVID times. Let me tell you, because I had to work with SAG and county guidelines. We got everybody tested. We really did everything by the book. Ryan is now a COVID officer, so shout out to Ryan.
Yep. She's our in-house COVID officer.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm really excited about that because I actually choreography in the video. I danced 16 years of my life, and I haven't danced for the same amount of time.
Oh wow.
And so
is it like riding a bike?
No, it's not like riding a bike. It was really hard, and I'm just excited that I got to challenge my brain a different way, and so that's happening. And then I have their latest single after that, and the end for JPOLND, I'm releasing a string arrangement. We have the new Rvrside EP coming out, and then I have a new Jessie Jones EP that'll be out later in the year, and then I'm just running, heavy hitters and head bitch music and working on custom music, and
not much on at all. Pretty chill.
Pretty chill. So I guess my final question is, when live music returns, can we just do a festival of all your monikers just in one day? There'll be like 9 different stages, and your collaborators will be set up on each one, and then you'll just bounce from stage to stage. I love this idea.
I feel like it's like Hannah Montana. Like I just feel like
something to think about.
Yeah. I am let's see if we can make this happen. I'm ready. I'm gonna bring some wigs. I'm just gonna it'll be like a variety show. It'll be good.
Bring some weed. You'll be good.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with us today, Jessie.
Yes, thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And just keep us posted. Jessie, you can find her on Instagram at Jessica Vaughn. What is your Instagram name?
No, so you can find
scratch that.
You can find me at you can find me at Bitch Music.
That's right.
Just without the I, because I can't run ads.
We'll put it on the screen. I know this. I follow you.
If you Google Bitch Music or Jessica Vaughn, I'll pop up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Internet stalk me somehow.
And you have a new song out right now with a video soon to be released, and that is under Laces.
Yeah.
So definitely go check that out, stream it, and check out Jessica Vaughn and all of her projects. Thank you so much, Jessie.
Just try and keep up.
Try and keep up.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you both.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
We'll talk to you soon. Bye.